Alright, hello. Oh, this is exciting. Hold on. I've been discovering more tools for streaming, and I am trying not to look lost, honestly. Let me see. How do I go back to the screen that I was just on? Do I click that button? No, not that button. Hold on. Interesting. I'm learning new things about Streamlabs OBS today. So that is good. Let me turn on this here. Ooh. Nice. Look at that transition. That transition looks so good. Okay, fantastic. I hope everyone can hear me well okay. I feel like my camera is a little bit too small. Let me just double check my camera quickly. And then I will tell you guys what I have planned for today. Gonna be doing something new. Where's my webcam? There it is. No, that looks all okay, I think. What if I... Interesting. But okay, I think that is good enough for now. Let me go to editor. Can I turn off this studio mode? There we go, fantastic. Hi everyone. Hey, how's it going? How have your weekends been? I've had a wonderful weekend filled with Dungeons and Dragons. Not the game that I'm playing though. The current campaign that you see on screen right now. I've been playing as a player in a few other games. But I had a wonderful time over the weekend. And I hope you all had a wonderful time as well over the weekend. Hope you guys got up to some really meaningful and fascinating things. Today, what I am going to do is, what you see in front of you, in this like big square that I'm looking at right now, is the Foundry game. Foundry is a virtual tabletop that you can download and just use, and your players can come in and join your game here, and it's like highly interactable. It is so good. Like, you have all of these scenes up here. You have a lot of stuff. Like, I can transfer into like this scene here. It's so good. It's so fun and so easy, and you can add so many effects. Like, you can see a cloud coming along here as well, and it's just a great program. If you use Roll20, get this instead. It does have a one-time upfront payment, but it is so good. It is just so good and so easy to use, I swear. But yeah, today I'm trying out something new. So I'm going to be doing some planning for my D&D game. And the D&D game that I'm planning for is what you see in front of you. Everything that you see here is something that I have made already. So like, I can go over here and I can go to like this encounter map here. It looks black and white right now. I'm not really sure why it's black and white. The lighting can get a bit funky sometimes. So if I turn off token vision... Oh, I know why. The reason why it's black and white is if we look at the time over here, down here, it is what, 1:33? It is 1:33 in the morning in game time. So it has decided... Yeah, if we click on a character, we can totally see that they see things perfectly. And this character here has dark vision, so this is what they would see. I think dark vision makes everything black and white, so I might need to mess around with that. But hey, oh yeah, it's working for this character. Fantastic. But yeah, today, let me see. How do I do this? So this is going to be one of the screens that you're going to see today. The other screen is this screen right here. Let me know if the text is way too small for you guys to see. I'm actually going to take a quick look on my stream myself to see how this looks. I am a little bit conscious that this thing is a bit too small to see, so I might need to increase the size of the... let's see. I can kind of see... Oh, maybe not. Hold on. It depends on your bitrate, I think. Oh, what is this? Oh, cool. Can't read it. Okay, Let me try and zoom in that case. 1 second here. Yeah, let me zoom in. Did that mess up anything? Just for a bit. Okay. Oh, how is this? Oh, I can't click on the bottom of the screen here. There we go. Does that look a little bit better? Or am I going to have to just increase the size of the text? I think I might just have to increase the size of the text. Let's see. Okay, looks like I might have to zoom in quite a bit for this. But yeah, okay. Seeing part of it. Okay, we'll figure something out. We probably won't be spending too much time on this screen. This screen is what I'll mostly be using to just write down notes. There is also one more thing that I want to do, and that is the map. And I probably am going to have to set up a screen region for that. So let's go ahead and do this. Window capture. Does this count as a window, or does this count as a game? Add new source. We're going to be doing a bit of map creation as well, and the program that I use for map making is Dungeon Painter Studio, which I believe you can access on Steam. Oops, you guys can see that, can't you? Yep, this is live. Well, okay then. Let me try and arrange this like so. Did you ever figure out loyalty points? So yeah, I did find out that I need to be an affiliate first before I can make use of loyalty points. However, 1 second here. However, CloudBot, which is a free software to use. Let me move this onto the screen so it doesn't look like I'm just not looking at you guys. CloudBot allows you to have loyalty points, but they don't show up in the same way that they show up in other people's streams. So you'd have to do things like exclamation point commands, which I think if you do exclamation point hi Twitch, you can get a redeem, and that might show up on my recent event. So you can give that a go, see how that works. I don't know why this thing here isn't stretching. How do I transform this? Edit transform. Okay, size. What if I increase this by like 800? No, that's the wrong one. Reset here. So okay, I want to do this. Just give me a second here. I tried to set out all of my screen regions except this one apparently. Okay. And then double click. Let's go ahead and do transform, edit transform, and I think I do something like that. Let's do like 900, 800. Let's do 950. I think that one. Nope. Let's do 920, 890. We'll get there. Trial and error. 870, 860. I think 870 is the correct one. There we go. Then I just need to move that to the back here so that it appears underneath everything. And there we go. So this is going to be... Oh, it might also be because... Oh, man. Okay. Oops. Right. Gonna have to resize this again quickly. Hopefully now it works. The aspect ratio is good. Or at least it's better. Man, this feels embarrassing. It's not like I can just... Yeah, I can't really increase that without increasing the other sides. But that should be fine, I guess. If I do it like there, you should be able to see everything except for the thing on the side, which should be good. So if I can do this, yeah, there we go. Excellent. I also have another scene. Let me move to my studio thing here. if I go over here... Okay, I need to set up one more scene quickly on another screen. Window capture, add source, new source. Okay. DPS. That should be good. Done. Was it really that easy to do on the screen? Dude, I am so glad. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. Redemption, giveaways. Yeah. So, sadly, right now there's no loyalty points on the channel. But once we get a few more streams under our belt, hopefully it shouldn't be too far away. And I think everything looks okay on this screen. So let me go ahead and transition to here. Now this is going to be the other screen that we're going to be seeing. And this one is basically my map making editor. What you see ahead of you right now is the map for the map that I'm currently working on. So my party are eventually going to get to this map. And we just need to plan what's going on with it. So yes, we have that. We have our foundry. Let me do a transition here. Let me go back to here so I don't have to keep verifying that. We have that. We have our boundary, and we also have our OneNote drive here that we're going to use to write down any notes. So let's go ahead and do a bit of a discussion from where we're working on first. So I think it'd be easier if I do it on Foundry over here, just so that we have a visual aid to take a look at. So this here, in this giant moon here, is our party. We have a fighter named Bianca. We have a cleric named Garden. He is a Tabaxi. Bianca's a human. We have an orc barbarian by the name of Dune. We have a elf, kind of elf. She's a hexblood. Ranger named Lilith, and she has a drake with her, which is super cool. We have a what I call a concubus monk. And concubus is a homebrew race. They're basically like incubi, succubi, but in my world they are like, they're not like the evil demonic versions of what you might expect from D&D. These ones are a bit more human than the incubus and succubi that you might find in regular D&D. Over here we have Stormtrooper. He is a Genasi genie. He is a Genasi genie warlock. These ones over here are the people who have left the party, so we don't need to worry too much about them. This one over here is the only person who has died. So that is I think that says something about me as a DM, that only one person has died, and I think this campaign has been going on since 2017. So it has been quite a while. But yeah, so let me move on to the map to show you guys what world that we're in. So we are in the world of Elos. Elos is a continent on a planet called Winthos. You're making a few characters on Hero Forge, and one of them is an Air Genasi Asthma hybrid due to a Coatl bloodline. Whoa, that sounds amazing. What, did they have? Yeah, Coatls are like air-based, aren't they? I haven't really thought about mixing that. That sounds so cool. What else can you tell us about them? That sounds amazing. If you guys have any D&D stories you wish to share, feel free to post them in chat. I am more than happy to read them, because I've actually been experiencing writer's block for the past couple of weeks here. You're working on a Satyr Fey Wanderer? Ooh, dude, Satyrs are so good. In another games I'm playing, we have a Satyr party member, a Satyr bard. I can't remember what bard he is. But he is a lawyer, and he is the complete opposite of what you'd expect a satyr to be. And he is just like hard on the rules. He is hard on no partying. He is just the strictest person ever. Coatls are winged serpents who are connected to the upper planes, but they also have been found in an elemental plane of air. I don't mess around too much with Coatls, so that is great to find out. especially since we have an Air Genasi in my campaign as well. Since we're on the topic of Air Genasi, I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a story here before I explain the rest of the world to you. In one of the earlier sessions, so the game started off with the party finding or being in a village that was destroyed by aliens. A meteorite landed, aliens came out of it, destroyed the village. The high-level adventurers of the region who protect the region, called the actual Sentinels, came by. Two of them came by and dealt with the aliens, but they died in the process. In order to get them revived, they had to go to another Sentinel who was not part of the group that went there. And he was like, okay, I'm going to have to revive them. But sadly, the person who does the reviving is the one who died. So we have to go to the plane of air because I know a genie there who can wish these people back to life. So that was the initial plot for why my party had to go to the plane of air. They went there, they found this like elemental node of air that the fighter Bianca stuck her sword into, and instead of ripping it up, it actually gave her the super powerful item. Let me see if I can find it over here. Party items, Bianca, the Wind Razor. So this is a item that you can find from the Griffin Saddlebag. If you go onto Reddit and just search for the Griffin Saddlebag, or you can go onto just Google and type in the Griffin Saddlebag, they make amazing items. It is crazy. They have a Patreon and everything. But this is the weapon that my fighter got, or my fighter player character got, that her sword transformed into. Still working on a few small flaws in her appearance. Need to change the weapon because you've changed your mind. And there's a few coloring issues regarding a gem on the armor. Then there's another coloring issue, a lesser one, where the character looks really cool, but I don't want to mix in real life politics in. But when you got a bit of pink and a bit of blue mixed in, just, you know, pink and blue are fantastic colors, man. Just go for it. Right? Nothing wrong with pink and blue. I'm actually wearing pink and blue to a wedding I'm going to in about a week's time. So, there we go. But yeah, they went to this plane of air. They fought some... Oh yeah, feel free. You can feel free to link her in. Sounds like you put quite a bit of work into her already, and you're taking it quite seriously, which is always good to see. I'm a bit not happy about my camera angle here, but there we go. Fixing the issues you know how to fix. Doesn't Hero Forge give you the miniature unpainted and then you have to paint it? In your game, a Red Dragon has sent dragon cultists in an airship to aid the party. To what end, they do not know yet. Oh, dude. The mysteries that thing causes, it's great. Hi, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. What are you doing today? Let me see. Hello, Gabby. It is wonderful to have you here. Today we are going to be doing a bit of campaign planning. I am a DM for a home game. This is what you see in front of you is my world. And I am trying to plan out my next session. And I've had writer's block for the past few weeks. There are options, you don't care because you don't do mini painting, they're just for digital stuff. Ah, I see, yeah. Man, I wish there was like a Hero Forge load-in into Foundry. There might actually be a mod for that. This game, this Foundry, this virtual tabletop system is super modular. Like if I go, for instance, if I go over to here and I go into manage modules, take a look at all of these modules, and these are just coders who do the stuff for free, hobbyists who enjoy the game, and they make these things. And you can just go onto the Foundry website, find modules, and then just search for something that you like. It is great. I would like it if it would be cool if Hero Forge had a mod in where you can make your own miniature like you would normally do, and then just put it into this world and have that be your character's token. That sounds so good. Or would sound so good. Are you the DM for your game, Vel Knight? You mentioned the dragon cultists. Do you know why they are there, or are you a player and you're like, oh, this is such a good mystery? Yes, okay. That is great. I definitely know the feeling of putting in a plot thread that you don't know where to go, but you're putting it in just because it seems really, really cool. And transferring your homebrew and third-party stuff into Roll20. Being a good DM is hard. It absolutely is. All of the hours that we put into our games, and the party doesn't really see any of it, apart from, like, if I go over to... Where is it? If I go back over to here, this is all I have for the next session. So here I have a little bit of a recap of what happened. This is what they've done so far. This is what they need to do. And this is just some moral conflict here. You can't see too much of it because of the size here. And then over here is what I am planning on doing. So I have this, the aliens in my world are called the Zion. So this is an alien mage. They're actually so sus of it that after a ride or two, they ditched it. Yeah. The players can get so volatile. It's like you spend all of this time doing a bunch of stuff, or planning all of this stuff, and then your players just like sidestep it completely. And it's like, why didn't I think of that? Of course they would think that. Or like, even if they don't. Are you looking for plot bunnies? Yes. So I have a story right now. Their current story is they are... Let me go ahead and bring you back to Foundry so I can show you guys. So right now, the party is in this country over here, Cinderia, the land of the virtuous. Cinderia is a theocracy, and they have captured an individual, an army person from Gallibly over here. These two countries are at war with each other. And the party found a broken sword of this commander, and they wish to return it because a unicorn kind of like threw the quest onto the party. They came across this lake, they found the sword at the bottom, the unicorn bestowed the sword onto the party, and they found out information about who owns it so far. So they went to this place over here called Luxuria, which is the first time they've ever been in Cinderia. They found out where this person is being kept. She's being kept in a place called the Dungeon of Inquiry over here. Well, this giant map here. She is all the way down here, but she has had her mind shattered, basically. She had an encounter with the bad guy of this current quest, this alien mage, and the alien mage stole memories from her. He would have tried to, kill her and then make her into a alien parasite, because that's something that they do. But she was saved by the rest of her friends. After that happened, she was then captured by Cinderia because she's an enemy, commander who's invading, an enemy country. And now she is here. They know that she has information about a heretical relic that they want, so they're not going to let her free until they know that she's no longer a threat, right? But they also want the information, but they can't get it because the mage has shattered her mind. You have a plot bunny your players avoided. The players avoided witches, wizards, or artifactors trying to get to the moon. What could you tell us a little bit more about that? That sounds pretty cool. So the purple gem doesn't fit in, but choosing either blue or pink means prioritizing one color over the other. Sounds like you're going to have to pick a primary and then a secondary color, my friend. So which color should be primary, which color should be secondary? Pink, I think, is a bit more of a passionate color than blue. Blue is more sort of like a cool, reserved color, as far as I understand. I'm not an artist myself, but, I have been making D&D maps for a while, so I know a little bit about color theory. So, yeah, this is where the party are at currently. They want to... this person here, Lotus, who is the concubus monk, he's also part warlock. He'd made a pact with one of the friendly aliens to try and stop what the big threat is going on in the world. And I'll get to that a bit later. But he's managed to read her mind and piece it back together enough to find out that this alien mage is the one who did it to them. Once he found that out, these guys told him that that alien mage is in a town called Cades. Could you check it out and maybe give some advice? I could certainly try. I'm not sure if I have a screen region set up for it, so I might have to finagle it around if you want it shown on stream. But I can certainly give it a go, and I can certainly give you some feedback if you like. And hopefully what you've done so far can also help to inspire some other people. So yeah, I think you can link it in chat. If you can't, let me know and I'll see what I can do about that. Let me go back over to Amaranthia here. You already did. Oh. Oh yeah, no, it got censored. 1 second. How do I change that? Settings. I think it's under CloudBot. Hold on 1 second. Okay, hold on 1 second. I think I need to whitelist you. You'll just DM it? Okay, I think that'll be easier. Yeah, so if you can just send it to me in DMs, I'll go ahead and give it a look. Let's see. Here we go. I found it. Alright, it is loading for me. I have quite a few things up in the background already, so it's going to take a little moment before it all loads in properly. Let me see. Done. Okay, let me try and get this on stream. You don't mind if I show it on stream, do you? 3 kobold wizards fall out of the sky 50 feet off the ground in front of the party, and they need help finding the rare ingredients to cast this custom spell to travel to the twin planet of the sky, of the planet they are on. Oh my goodness, so good. It sounds like we have pretty similar themes as well, so that is wonderful to hear. All right, let me try and get this window capture set up here. Let me move on to this screen here quickly. Okay, you guys can't see this, but this will make sure that whatever I'm putting up right now doesn't show up immediately. Add source, add new source. Sure. Let's go to, which one is this? This one is, there we go. Okay. And then let me just finagle the screen region here. Okay. So, this is what Gloria Zote, fantastic name by the way. I love Zote from from Hollow Knight. I've actually made an NPC based on him in my game, so I'll show him a bit later. But this is what Gloria Zote has made already for this token. And yeah, it looks really good so far. I see there's a bit of heterochromia going on here. Dude, this thing is so high def, it's fantastic. So what is it that you're asking for advice on in terms of like the coloration? Like where specifically do you think that it's you need to work on? Why do 3 kobolds usually try to pass as a human called Human and not a dragonborn called Dragborn? Suits their appearance more. Main problem is the gem on the collar. Okay, let's take a look at the gem on the collar. Ooh. You mean this one here, this purple looking one? I'm gonna move this quickly over to the screen so I can read chat as well. It does look like it features pretty prominently on the character. So let's see, what other colors do we need to be mindful of? So these arrows here appear to be blue. This character's also got blue tattoos, got a blue thing on the sword over here, and also got kind of like a blue bow here. So blue can certainly be a way to go. You have got minor accents of pink up here on this this little wispy wave area over here. So pink might be a good thing to do here because it's not really represented elsewhere all too much. You've got the eye, you've got this face smudge, right? And then you've got this here. So that might be a nicer way to change to make it pink. Otherwise, if you go for like a light blue color, I think that can also go well to serve the primary, you know, color to it. But this is great. I am so glad that there exists things like this, like Hero Forge, that can help people make or realize their characters. Like this character here, just some of the associations I get. Like it seems like she's quite determined, based on like one, the stunt that she's doing, two, the look in her eyes. If I let me go ahead and give a close up there. I'm not sure if serious is necessarily what you're going for. An emerald or opal might be nice. She also has a ring over here, so you could make this ring here the same color as the brooch if you want, depending on what color you want to go with. What? Oh, hold on there. What happened? Why did it censor out your things here? Okay, I have word protection on. Let me see. Let me do this. The save settings. Okay. I hope you weren't actually saying anything terrible. Half butthole is a bad word. Great. Okay. I just told it to be like, hey, censor out like just general bad words. But I guess that's not that's a bit too restricted. You said not to use half butthole on your characters? But if it doesn't work, you don't save it. Fair enough. Yeah, Hero Forge, so good. You're also doing character stuff? Ooh, tell us about it. Yeah, and also think about like what sort of properties there are to the gem as well, as Veil Knight suggests here. Let me go ahead and head back to Foundry here. I'm just going to go ahead and close this one. You just got into a new campaign. Oh, well done. Is this going to be the first time you're playing this new character? Other cool characters you got are Kobold Drake Warden and a Were-Touched Furbolg Monk, homebrew subclass, living weapon. She's a Scourge Asima Blood Hunter. Ooh. So the first thing that pops into my mind is red, of course. Red symbolizes blood, and the deeper the red, the more impactful the connection with blood is, right? She's a Scourge Asthma Blood Hunter. Yes. Nice. Were-Touched Furbolg Monk. You're both playing... Oh, no. Sorry, yeah. One of you... Wait, did I get confused? I think I got a bit confused there with... I thought the Blood Hunter was the mini that I was looking at. My apologies. But yeah. Still not satisfied with the Hero Forge mini though. Well, hopefully you will work that out. You've only played one-shot in your life, and you've made these characters simply in advance out of boredom on Hero Forge. It's a great way to start. Characters can give you quite a bit of inspiration as well, so that's fantastic. Alright. So, At some point, if you try this with another party, if the party helped them, then much later in the campaign, encounter one of them again. Apparently the moon has a long, abandoned fort of some kind in the wilderness. Ooh. Putting mysterious structures on you. Is your moon inhabited by other people? In my setting here, my moons are inhabited by aliens known as Zion. So you have the two moons. The large one here is called Zetathos, and the smaller one is called Deltaga. Being a scourge Asima, she accidentally deep-fried someone important to her when she was young. Oh, yeah. You gotta have something. The DMs love that kind of stuff. In terms of like character backstory. As long as you don't make your character like a dragon-slaying monster at before level 1. But yeah, let me just take a drink of water here. I love listening to what you guys have to say about your characters and your games here. DM also lets you lean into the be not afraid part of being related to an angel. Ooh. Mind if you see the work in progress Hero Forge? Do you want me to bring it back up on stream? I can bring it back up on stream if you like. Are links allowed here? If the bot allows you to post a link, go ahead. Otherwise you can PM me the link and I'll bring it up on screen. Ah, okay, I see. Oh yeah, then you can just PM yeah, you can just PM PCM here. Alright, in the meantime, I'll try and figure out why the bot is deleting all of the links between now and next stream, which will be on Thursday if you want to catch another stream. I might do some more D&D planning on Thursday, or I might be playing a game called Black and White, which is a 2001 era PC game, which is super underrated and I wish it got more attention. But yeah, look under the stream if you want to see when my next stream would be. But otherwise, for now, let me see. So let's go back to Amaranthia here. So the party have come to Luxuria here. They have, let me see. They have found this individual down here called Larissa Valveris. She is the enemy. She is the commander from Gallipoli who was captured and attacked by an alien who shattered her mind. These jailers here are keeping her, one, because she is a political prisoner, and two, because she had vital information about the location of a heretical artifact. Oh, you recognize Black and White? Oh, that's fantastic. But yeah, Larissa here has vital information about a heretical artifact. Cinderia is a deeply religious place, and let me show you. Let's go over to DPS over here. Yes, there we go. So this is, let me just move this over here quickly. Haven't had the chance to post it or anything though. So this is the cave that I'm hoping my characters will explore. So they were told to go to this town called Seeds. Let me go ahead and bring up Foundry again. You can see that Seeds is over here, not too far away. This is maybe about like a day or two's travel out from Luxuria. It's a mountain town that was previously attacked by aliens, but the Astral Sentinels came by and repelled them. One alien got away, which is the alien that attacked Larissa, and has now returned back to Seeds. The party want to come here and basically defeat this alien and regain somehow the memory of Larissa Valveris. Black and White 2 was 8 years old. Yu's favorite game. Oh man, yeah, the game has been around for a long time. Like what, 2000? I think the original game came out in 2001, and then Black and White 2 came out in like 2009. I'm going to change the color on the text chat here quickly. Chat box live. Let me go. I wanted to change it to black because I would have been using OneNote for quite a while. And it's hard to see white text on white text. There we go, that should be a bit better. So, right now the party are going to go to caves. They're going to find some leads about... they're going to go find some leads about where this Zion alien is and how to get their memories. That's going to take them to a cave where the Zion frequents. And that is going to be this map here that I am currently making. And I have a few ideas about this map here. So they're going to enter on through the mouth of the cave here, and they're going to be presented with two options. One, there is clearly these blue crystals here that are... there are these blue crystals here that stand out, really. I'm probably going to want to put some more stuff in here. But these blue crystals are what I'm going to be using to foreshadow secret illusory walls. So as I zoom in here, you can kind of see it a bit, but I've got this wall here. If I go here and here, I can go ahead and change the opacity on this thing. There we go. So what the players are going to see is they're going to see this. And then if they investigate what's going on here, or they investigate the crystals, they're going to realize that they're projecting this illusion. And then they just do a quick search around to try and figure out what illusion exactly is being prepared, and then it's going to open up for them. They are then going to go down here where I plan to have 3 statues. 1, 2, and I think there's a third one here. Oh, I've only got 2 statues. Okay. 2 or 3 statues, but the aim of these statues is to pose a logic riddle or a logic puzzle to the players. If they manage to get this logic puzzle done, then they can access the next room. And the next room is this crazy mess here. I'll get into that in a second. But now thinking on it a bit, since there's a crystal here and they would have already known that there is a... or it's already been foreshadowed that these blue crystals symbolize a illusion, then I don't think they're really going to need to complete a logic puzzle here in order to get through here. They're just going to see that there's a blue crystal here. There's a path here that leads to what I plan to be a blank wall. And then they can just use that to go through. So I might take this crystal out. Let's go ahead and take this crystal out. Is this the right one? Oh, let me go ahead and turn that off quickly. Into here. So I'll take this crystal out. I also need to plug in my headphones quickly. I hear it starting to die. There we go. Alright. So now what I've done by removing this crystal is I've made it so that they are going to rely a little bit more on completing the logic puzzle that these statues give out. And I plan to have them be like a magic mouth thing. Once they've done that, they can access this this room through this entrance. And this room is a bit crazy. I plan to have them fight a monster in here, which is going to be sort of like a crystal, crystal Medusa. So if I go ahead and turn Foundry back on over here. There we go. I have this character over here. If I go into Cinderia, I have this one here. And I use the Smite model to represent this character's token. I believe this is an alternate skin of one of the Smite characters. I don't play Smite, so I'm not really too sure, but it seems like there's a character called Medusa in Smite. And right now, she is just basically a Medusa who, instead of turning people to stone, turns them to crystal, which is pretty much the same thing. What I want her to be is I want her to be an arcane archer, or at least use some abilities of an arcane archer. So if we go ahead and take a look at arcane archer. Oh, there's an NPC class for it. Cool. I'll take a look at that in a second. Arcane archers get these magical shots. Oh, 1 second here. I haven't been keeping up with chat. This world they're on, they had the world. This world they're on had the world they are. It's post-magical, nuked, apocalyptic fantasy. This campaign takes place 167 years after the magical nukes. Ooh. I'm getting a little bit of Fallout vibes from like Bethesda's Fallout games. So that takes place, what, a couple of 100 years after the nukes? There do be a lot of chat. It's great. Why do I get glass cannon, but literal vibes from this? Magic produces glass and crystals. Lots of magic slashing piercing damage. There's just something about the connection between crystals, crystals and magic that just works so well together, right? I feel like a lot of people look at a crystal and they think, and they're like, "Oh, this looks like magic." There's something mystical about it, right? But yeah, I can totally see, like, for instance, this Medusa being a bit of a class cannon. As messed up as the backstory is, she's surprisingly pretty wholesome as a person. I mean, if you go through hardships like that, I can imagine, like, you'd either turn out one of two ways, right? You'd either one turn out as a, you know, someone who cares about nothing, just like a narcissist. Not narcissist, what's the word? Nihilist is the word I'm looking for. Or you can become like a really calm, quiet, considerate person, right? Crystals are transparent, therefore they can be used as vessels for energies. Wow, I didn't see that correlation at all. That makes so much sense now. An edgelord? I feel like edgelords are less based on what backstory. Maybe. I was about to say they're a bit less based on the backstory that they have rather than how they perform in game, right, and how they react to the world around them. Because if they act aloof and not caring and self-centered, like, you know, why should I do this when, you know, my aunt was murdered by the Lord? Like, that's a pretty edgelord thing to say, isn't it? But yeah. So I want to give this Medusa some of these arcane fighter abilities. Ideally I want, what is it? Where is it? Not banishing arrow. Bursting arrow, but I want it to generate light. So let's go ahead and edit here. Go ahead and add a... let's add an action here. Let's go ahead and copy and paste the text for bursting arrow. Place it into here. Certainly helps that she's terrified of herself. That sounds like a very fallen Asimar thing, right? Oh, sorry. Is it Fallen or is it Scourged? I did forget. Scourge, yeah. Absolutely. Like, aren't the Scourge Asimar, like, they literally have divine power flowing through, like, their eyes and mouth if they don't have, like, a mask on or anything like that. That's at least what the core books say. Be not afraid, but to herself looking at the mirror. Wow, yeah. They turn into a magic furnace. Yeah, they absolutely do. They just have so much divine power flowing through them. That must be terrifying, right? Like, imagine being so concerned about yourself, or like being so concerned about the power that's inside of you, that it literally just comes out uncontrollably and like burns everyone around you. You'd be terrified to make friends. Ankeg are super underrated. I've only used an Ankeg once. What makes you say that they are underrated? Sell me on the virtues of a Ankeg. I haven't really had too much of a chance to play with them. She found out the hard way that it gets triggered by strong emotions. Yeah, and that is fantastic drama right there. She got too happy when she was spending time with the one person who wasn't afraid of her. Oh no. Man. Wow. And watch them be burnt by the radiance. Yeah. One way to make characters quite compelling, and it does seem cruel, is to put them through shit. Is to make them go through like really difficult choices, really, you know, put them in just like really bad situations for themselves, right? Where they have to make a decision. Would be even worse if you were, if it was right at the first kiss, right out. Oh no, could you imagine? Whether they died or not is up to the DM because she ran away right after. Oh, yeah. That like narratively, that feels like something that your character or that character would find out afterwards, right? Like at much later, like maybe at a turning point or a moral turning point for them in their story. Maybe it can like serve as a push that they need to carry on with their adventure. It's like, hey, like you can do it one of two ways, I think. You can do, well, one of two ways that I know of. You can probably do it more ways as well. I'm just not thinking of those. But first way that I can see there is you can have them, you can say basically, hey, oh man, my brain is farting on this. I know what I want to say, but I just can't find the words. Like, on one hand, it can be a case of, you know, hey, your divine power isn't so uncontrollable. You didn't hurt the person that you thought you did, right? And then maybe, like, have that person show up and show them that, hey, they may have been burned a little bit, but they can handle the power, right? They can handle being burnt every once in a while. Or you can be like, no, you got incinerated, and use that to kind of, like, drive them even more. You could have a rogue alien help or guide the party every now and then. Yeah. So one of the things I want to explore here... hold on. Ah, okay, 1 second. About the Ankeg. They have a burrowing speed and they can drag people away. They have an acid spray and they look badass. I didn't think about them actually taking people away. That is super scary, right? In like a level 3 party, the Ankeg just like shows up, you beat the Ankeg to like, you know, a quarter of its health. It grapples one of you and then it burrows and it digs. What are you going to do about it? You can't follow it, it's underground. Okay, I might be tempted to make an Ankeg encounter now. Thank you for that, Gabby. But yeah, rogue alien help or guide the party every now and then. So one of the themes I want to explore here is a theme of coexistence. Let me just finish off this feature quickly. Blinding arrow. I want this to be blinding, and I want it to... There we go. How about something like that? Sturges are also cool. Sturges are terrifying. You wish there was more monster player races like Oni or Lamia. So we have a joke on my table that I make so many monster girl races. So let me show an example. Do I have an example? So first off, Lotus here. Let me go ahead and show you the artwork quickly. Show portrait. This is Lotus. Lotus has two forms. Lotus is a concubus, which is a succubus incubus in my setting. So Lotus can change between two different forms. Actually can change between 4 different forms. A masculine version of themselves, a feminine version of themselves, and a fiendish version of both of those forms. So that's one. Another race that I have, I can't show you because I don't actually have a character of it. is what I call a progenitor core, which is basically a humanoid slime. There are also kitsunes in the setting, but they don't exist in Elos because they are spiritually bound to another continent called Landshatter, which is very Oriental inspired. So my party gives me no end of grief just saying, hey, like, all of these characters that you have in here, they're just like monster girls, aren't they? And also, I think down here in the Gardener's Graveyard, so there's an area around here called the Cotton Snow, and it's like a really despairing place. Like, it's basically an overgrown cotton field that has just like been imbued with the trauma and the despair that the elven that the elves are feeling because their culture and society are crumbling. That's you, but for trying to hide your character's actual names. But yeah, this cotton overgrowth got so bad because it's imbued with all of this despair from the elves that it like became hostile to all life. But within that cotton snow, there is a single mote of hope within the cotton snow, and that is a small community of moth people. They are called the Fall Monster. They are moths, humanoid moths basically, but they're kind of like the guiding light that gets you out of the cotton snow if you can find them. I also have moths. Let me double check to make sure none of my players are here. Look like none of my players are here. Okay, fantastic. Off the map over here towards the north, there is a realm of dreams, which is where people's spirits go when they dream. So they go to like a physical place in this world to dream. Yasumo goes by quote-unquote nobody, since that's probably how people refer to her and how she sees herself, but her real name is Nathalia. That is... I can totally see that being a really good character moment. The time when she says something like, I am not nobody anymore, I am Nathalia. Like, that can be super powerful. You'll not be able to YouTube the stream for fear of spoilers. Thankfully, I don't think my players watch the YouTube VODs. I think they watch the stream most of all. And so far it's only been one of my players who have come by. But yeah, in the realm of dreams, there's another subsect of moth people that live there. They are not related to the ones in the cotton snow, except like by sharing some biology. But they are more dream-inspired. While the moths down here are more hope-inspired, the ones up there are more dream-inspired. And technically they're sub-races of each other. But yeah, let me go ahead and continue on with this Medusa here. And Vel, you mentioned a bit earlier about there being a helpful alien that guides them from time to time. Lotus here has taken a level in Warlock. They've taken 3 levels in Warlock, and their patron is the Great Old One. There is a alien who is helping out the party right now called the Mentler, and the Mentler appeared down on Earth to speak with the party about the big threat that's going on. Basically, there's a surge of aliens leaving the moon trying to get to Winthos due to some sort of massive calamity. The Mentler doesn't know what the calamity is because it happened on the far side of the moon, but he lives on the moon. Let me see. Yeah, Asma has no idea what she actually is, so after the incident she was fully convinced she was a monster. Yeah. I think that's, while it is tragic, I think that is a very reasonable, like, should I say a very expected or very reasonable, attitude to take if you've been through all of that, right? But yeah, so Lotus is a warlock to this Mentler individual who is a friendly alien who's trying to help them out to stop this calamity from reaching the planet. So that's what's happening there. Their current task in terms of the rest of the quest is to go out and find these individuals called Moon Lords who exist throughout Elos. They are powerful aliens, basically. who came down to the Earth like a long time ago, and they just decided to stay here. The Mentala wants to band them all together to fight against the Calamity. So now your Asthma obsessively clothes herself to hide what she is, so she would never have to see her own reflection. Yeah, she's not hiding herself from others, she's hiding herself from herself. Fantastic. You've done a really good job on this character so far, PCM. Well, a bit of both. Fair, fair. Alright, so we have this blinding arrow. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've actually written here. So since this is a monster, we don't need this flavor here. Targeting all other creatures within 10 feet take 2d6. Let's change this to radiant damage. Which links until the start of the Medusa's next turn. So let's save that. Let's go down here. Oh, we didn't actually make it a attack, did it? One action. Action type ranged weapon attack. So this is going to deal 1d8 plus at mod. This is going to be piercing. And then we're going to add in that extra 2d6 radiant. There we go. Now what's going to make this quite deadly is the area that I'm planning on having her do this. There's a lot of crystals out there, and the crystals are highly sensitive to light. So what this is going to amount to is if she does this inside this area, did that actually work if I click it? No. /R. Actually, let me just get rid of this. And I think it's something like this, right? Yeah. Oh, not that one. The area where this is going to happen, this this cave here, highly sensitive to light. So what it'll amount to is in that area you'll be blinded if you are near that light and you fail a Constitution save, because the crystals are so reflective. She doesn't like being looked at and really doesn't like when anyone gets within 10 feet of her. Huge defense mechanism there. I am excited about this character for you, PCM. Let's go ahead and find a nice token to put here. A nice icon. Because this will show up in the chat. So if we go into equipment, no, I think it's weapons, right? Or skills even? Ranged, here we go. So this is going to be blinding light. So let's go ahead and pick up this one here. There we go, we have a blinding arrow. So we have that. This Medusa, by the way, has this item here, an emerald eye mask. So in a similar fashion to your character PCM, this Medusa doesn't like people looking at her for presumably obvious reasons. She doesn't really like that she turns people to stone. It is different to your character in that sense, for sure. Ironically enough, she used to dream about being a chef. You can have dreams like that. Especially a character like that. I think the more mundane and the more down-to-earth dream that a character like that has, I think the more sympathetic it comes across as. It's like, oh, this person, like, just wants to be a normal person. But yeah, this Medusa basically been exiled to a cave. Once her Medusa curse set in, she was a normal person before this, right? But once this Medusa curse set in, she was basically shunned from all society, and she took up habitation inside this cave. And you know, she cooked her friend's face and all. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that for a second. Maybe if she gets like really, really angry at her food, she can just cook it, like without expending, without like hiking up her gas bill, right? As a chef. Just get very passionate about your job as a chef. What innate spellcasting do you have? Detect magic, fog cloud, light, featherfall, fly, misty step, telekinesis, control weather, gaseous form, greater in... Ah, that was from an earlier draft of what I wanted this person to do. So I might get rid of this innate spellcasting. Let's go back to this map here, and let's go and work on this for a minute. So she's going to start off in this area here, in this little section. Fairy Dragon, Fire Snake, Three Queen, and Scarecrow are just some of the cool Monster Manual CR1s. I think of those I've used a Thri-Kreen before, but that was in a previous campaign. I think the most fun that I remember about using the Thri-Kreen is that they don't speak common. So it's about trying to tell the party, or get the party to figure out what they're trying to communicate, really. So I had a lot of fun with that. She has to do the dishes after a long day of work, and, well, you know, that SpongeBob episode where he couldn't get a really stubborn stain from a plate. Oh dear. Oh dear. So yeah, she's going to start off in this area here, and I want her somehow to, like, if the party makes noise, or they fail like a puzzle to get into this room, then she is going to be alert, then she's going to be active and hunting, right? So she's going to be hunting the party as they come in through either here or here. The party want to get down to here so that they can get into here, which is where the Zion keeps all of its memory crystals. All of the partial fragments of memory that he's storing down here. And this is where Larissa's memory is going to be. I also want there to be a crystal golem involved as well, but I haven't been able to fit that in just yet. CR1/4, Bullywug, Mudmephit, Needleblight, Troglodyte, etc. Mr. Krabs wakes up some weird light from the Krusty Krab because SpongeBob is using some huge laser cannon to try and get rid of the stain. Oh, you gotta love SpongeBob. So in order to get through here, there's not really that much space. The party can move through, for instance, through these squares here. It'll be rough terrain though, so I'm going to have to mark that out for them. And their goal is to get down here. And originally when I was planning this, I wanted them to like come up to here, and there'd be like a grid on the wall here, and the grid, they would have to basically trace back the path that they had walked to get here onto the grid, and then the door will open. That was my first intent, but as you can see, it's gotten quite messy. So how can they trace the path that they had traveled, right? Plus, at the same time, there's 5 of my party members here. What if they all go in different directions? What path do they draw then? So I think that idea is not very tenable, unless you all have a suggestion for that. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. I think this is just going to be... they're going to get hunted. The only reason the Asma started eating monsters is because she thought monsters eat other monsters, right? Ooh, that's deep. I also want there to be another secret path over here that is going to lead somewhere else. But I'm not sure what that other place is going to be. You're saying this for every DM, including yourself? Don't default to wolves, goblins, orcs, etc. I would agree. When you default to like a specific monster, it's kind of devaluing what they are meant to represent, I feel. Of course, it does feel... Sometimes you just want a creature that feels like a bog standard monster. Let me see, if I remember right, I can't remember what exactly I used as a monster at the very beginning of the campaign. I feel like at the very start of my campaign here, we had mostly plot threads. It was weird sending them as like a level 3 party to the plane of air, though, I have to admit. I think they're actually level 4 at the time, honestly. She probably tried to convince the party of it when she was close enough to them, because when it comes to cooking and monster facts, she's a complete nerd. Sounds like she should take the chef feat. Oh, hold on, I need to sort out my screen regions here. Let me toggle that one off. Okay. So what can we put over on this side of the map here? If there's a secret over here, what secret should that be? Bear in mind that this is where the Medusa is going to be living, right? Dinotchius, Nilbog, more demons are CR1 from Volos. Oh, it's nice to see that there are some more variants in low CR demons. That's always good to find out. Let's go ahead and move this. I think I also need to change these over as well. So let's go ahead and do outer corners. Go ahead and fill this in. I think I need to rotate this. Oh, I should also get this stuck to a grid as well. So let's go ahead, stick to grid, rotate around like this, and then flip horizontal, flip vertical. There we go. And now what we can do is we can grab this thing again, go ahead and place it around here. We might need to use a longer thingy. Let's get a longer wall. This one looks okay? Not quite. What about this one? Yeah, I think this one looks good. Let's go ahead and grab that one and let's move that to 50% opacity. Sadly, when she's in the middle of passionately talking about her likes, she'd realize she'd broke her personal 10 feet distance, politely and promptly go quietly and awkwardly back away. Your Air Genasi Asima is going to take the Fast Spell magic, the Eldritch Initiate feat for Eldritch Blast. Oh, I see where this is going. Spell Sniper feat. Yeah, you're going to be able to hit things from off the map. You do love Dragon Shield Kobolds and Kobold Scale Sorcerers, but you try not to use them at all. Why do you try not to use them? Personally, my party have encountered kobolds. They had a random encounter roll when they were traveling between towns in Gallibly. So let me go ahead and bring this back over to Foundry here. So back over here in Gallibly, they were right here where the Dragon Cave is. They found kobolds. They were like, hey, we're looking for witches. So they tried to attack the party to try and, kidnap them. And when they found out that they were witches, they were like, hey, wait, no, you can actually help us. Come with us. And then they take them to the Dragon Cave. The party stupidly followed along. And then they found this. Once we load on in here. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, this place has... hold on. Lighting. Yeah, this place shouldn't have darkness control on. Nothing. There we go. Okay, can I turn this place back into day? There we go. They found this. They basically found an ancient Dracolich's hoard. The Dracolich has been dead for a while, as you can see as skeletons here. and his soul is not nearby. But they had his soul trapped in an Ua. And they're like, hey, we want you to pour magic into this Ua so that then it'll, you know, release the spirit of the dragon and bring back our master. That's not what they said to them. They were like, hey, we need you to charge this magic item for us. They didn't really give a good reason why. So they did. They put in a little bit of magic, and then they were like, wait, this maybe is not a good idea. And then the kobolds were like, no, this is a good idea, do it. And then when they were like, no, we're going to take this Ua and we're going to like throw it away, then they started fighting. And that's when I used Dragon Shields and Scale Sorcerers. Eldritch Blast from 1,200 feet ignores up to 3/4 cover. One thing to bear in mind about that Eldritch Blast from 1,200 feet thing, though, is how often does 1,200 feet come into play in terms of combat, right? Because most maps don't get anywhere near 1,200 feet. Out of character, it's going to be a lot more useful out of character, I think. It does mean that you can basically shoot anything on the map if you have the vision for it. And it is so empowering to actually be able to shoot something that is like on the horizon, basically. So there are absolutely like wonderful merits to having it. Let me see. You're saving them later. All your party are either level 2 and they don't put for level 5, right? Yeah, I believe my party was maybe like level... I can't remember what level they were. I think they were like maybe level 5 or 6 at the time that they came across this cave. They managed to beat all the kobolds. They convinced one of them to join their side, and let me go ahead and show you Romeo. Did I actually name him in here? He is basically an ascended NPC. Dialogues in Filcathale, no, Dead King's Cave, Romeo, here we go. Is it on the token? It should be on the token. Let me go ahead and show you the token. There we go. This is Romeo. Lotus, when he came here with the party, he convinced Romeo to try grass. Now, kobolds are carnivores, right? But he prestidigitated grass to taste like meat. So he tricked Romeo into thinking that this is the best tasting grass he had ever had, and that he should go out and try and convince the other kobolds to eat grass. And since he had won Romeo's affection by feeding him this delicious item, when the party revealed themselves to the rest of the kobolds that they're actually not going to help them out, Romeo joined them. And they made off with the Ua, they killed all the kobolds, and they suddenly inherited the dragon cave. Oh, kobolds are omnivores? They can survive on pretty much anything, even tree bark and dirt. Ooh, fascinating. That is good to know. It doesn't change too much here. I could just say that these kobolds prefer to have meat. And they, you know, they don't live on a purely vegetarian diet. Let me see. One of the things you're struggling to decide is if she wraps up her face mummy style or if she wears a mask. I would... My suggestion would be a mask would be easier to take on and take off. It'll also be a lot more resilient if she decides to... Or if she unleashes her, you know, inner power, right? Bandages, I think, would just burn straight through, yeah? Curse loot, curse loot. Yeah, the Ua was absolutely cursed. Like, it had the soul of the Dracolich inside. They've since sent it off to a place called Volcania, which is over... not that one, let's go back to here. Which is over here in the city of Carsus, which is basically a volcano that had like a levitating tip that's upside down, and there's a city on it. There's a magic academy there that they sent the Ua to, and it's currently safely secured. And they have free reign of the Dragon Cave, and they're currently renovating it. So that'll be finished at some point. Level 18 Stormstalk, level 2 Tempest Cleric for the 2 Tempest Cleric perks, where they were once a day. Turn 1 lightning thunder damage spell into max damage. That sounds good. If you use rock grubs, be super careful. They can be super deadly. Rock grubs. Let's take a look at rock grubs. Rock grub. Probably gonna have to take a look at plutonium here. Open importer. Kobolds are omnivores, they can survive in pretty much anything. Swarm of rock grubs are dangerous. Your Kobold Drake Warden has what's the spell? The cantrip that can change the flavor of items. Gonna come in mighty handy on saving money. Yeah, that's what my party uses it for. More or less. They don't need it anymore since they have a lot of money because of the Dragon Cave, but it's the least she can do considering she's got an actual dragon whelp to feed. Yeah. It'd be cool if when her power surges again at level 3, all of that excess stuff, including the face wrap, just burns off for a cool character reveal. Ah, do they not know who the character is right now? Let's go ahead and take a look at Rot Grub. Swarm of Rot Grubs. Oh, it's from Multiverse of Monsters. So let's see. They have 8 armor class, 22 hit points. They're pretty slow at 5 feet speed. Weak on strength, dex, and int, and whiz, and charisma. Swarm. Bites. What does the bite do? At the end of each of the poison targets... they need to make a DC 10 con save or become poisoned, and they take an additional 1d6 poison damage at the end of each turn while they are poisoned. Whenever they take fire damage, they can repeat the save, ending the effect on itself on a success. If the poison target ends a turn with 0 hit points, it dies. This thing can be deadly to like low-level adventurers, for sure. In character they don't, but out of character they don't know how strange she actually looks. Ah, I see. Imagine this, parties having their food at camp. Meat, cheese, whatever, right? Expensive stuff. Then there's the kobold just munching on flavored tree bark. Oh, could you imagine going into like a restaurant with that? Or like, let's say you're invited to like a royal dinner or something. Like your heroes of the realm, including the kobold. The kobold participates, so technically has an invite to sit at the table with the king. The king had all of this lavish food like spread out on the table, and you just come in munching tree bark. They burrow into your heart. Ooh, ugh. Ugh. No, leave my heart alone. Oh no. Yeah, they look super challenging. Now let me move this aside a little bit in case you guys can read. I don't know how big this text is on stream. Let me just take a double look. Double check. Yeah, it looks a bit blurry. But that's okay. Let me see if I can upgrade the quality on stream quickly. How would I upgrade quality? Stream output? Video. Output scale. I don't feel comfortable changing it on stream. I'll work on that between streams. Your velociraptors are medium sized, so kobolds can't ride them. Kobolds are small though. Kobolds can ride them, right? You can absolutely ride a mount that is one side larger than you. Profane Soul makes sense, but Lichen can be flavored to be something really cool. Remember guys, be creative, use Fire Cantrip on yourself in order to neutralize a poison by burning it away. Might possibly need to use a dagger or something to really channel the fire in there. Giving Heartburn a whole new meaning there, Zote. You love when you autocorrected Kobold model? When they autocorrect Kobold model to Kobold Mongol. It's better than Kobold Mongrel. Not in the heart though. Oh, okay, thanks for the instruction. I got confused. But yeah. So that's Romeo. Romeo is now like a on and off member of the party. And the only thing I had written for him, I didn't even have his name written down. He was just a random kobold that Lotus convinced to eat grass. and since then has become this legendary kobold figure. Speaking of, let's see where this is going. Talking about rock grubs breaking into the heart and curing them with a stab of a fiery dagger to the heart. Alright, let's see what else we want. So, I like this bursting arrow. We also want to give her a ricocheting arrow. I think that'd be cool. It's bouncing off of the crystals. Is there a ricochet arrow? Banishing, bursting, enfeebling, grasping, piercing, and seeking. How would a ricochet work? Some kobolds are now mounted archers. So let's go ahead and add a new feature here. Where did that go? Open up here. Let's go ricochet arrows. I'm pretty sure this has to be a feature of the Arcane Archer, right? I feel like I played an Arcane Archer before. I feel like they have to have a ricochet arrow or a bouncing arrow. Curving shot. When you make an attack roll with a magic arrow and miss, you can use a bonus action to re-roll. Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and copy this and then paste it on over here. I feel like aside from the more complicated ideas of separate psychic and physical health bars, I also think that pain tolerance should matter. Maybe certain types of damage should have more effect on your pain hit points. The lower your pain bar is, the more effective the psychic spells have on you, the easier you are to intimidate. Getting information out of someone is going to be easier if you use a bit of fire to torch away half their arm. Yes, it would. Are you proposing like a mechanical change in that case? I feel like in terms of lore, let me try and make my camera a little less blurry. I think this is as good as we're going to get it. I feel like that is easy enough to roleplay. Like, that sounds very roleplay-esque. I might be a bit careful with a mechanic like that, because I feel like it could complicate the game a little bit more. Because you'll now have like 2 separate hit bars to track. But I feel like it does, like, you know, representing it mechanically does say something about the world. And that can be a fantastic thing to add if that's what you want in your world. Like, why do people only fall down if they're about to die? You're going to have people be out for a fight if they're just hurt enough. Yeah, so this goes into the discussion about hit points, right? Like, what does a hit point represent? Like, so recently one of my characters had to fight the King of Gallibly for like an inheritance thing. And you'd think it would be a fight to the death. It wasn't really. It was the first one to reach 0 hit points. But 0 hit points would, you know, knock them out and knock them unconscious, right? And I had been considering that, hey, if like either of the parties reached like, you know, 25% of their hit points, or like, you know, get under 10 hit points or something, then the fight will be over. So I feel like it does confuse people, DMs as well as players, when you say that like your hit point represents your fighting ability, right? If it reaches 0, then you fall unconscious and you cannot fight anymore. One of my players suggested that, hey, if you reach 0 hit points, you might not fall unconscious, you just don't want to be in the fight anymore. So for instance, we played a Pokemon RPG not too long ago, and we had that happen with some of the Pokemon. So instead of like getting knocked out completely and being unable to, you know, roleplay or anything, the Pokemon just couldn't fight anymore, but was still up and standing. Like, it just couldn't use any moves or anything. You feel like the best way is to throw away most of the mechanics. Free roleplay is the best way to do stuff. Same is for just pure hit points. You keep hitting the same arm, it's gonna end up not doing crud. If someone's arm got a 3rd degree burn and has like 5 fractures, you aren't really going to achieve much by continuing to hit that arm. Yeah. I'm not sure how I would represent that. I feel like I would mostly just represent it as though I don't know, like if you like expressly state that you're gunning out for that arm, mechanically I'm just going to still have you make an attack roll. I'm not going to make it a cool shot or anything. This is my personal preference, of course. But I would have it like be meaningful. Like if you get like several good hits on it, you're going to make that arm dead, and like they're going to have to figure out a way to get around that. Like either they use their left arm, which might like impose a small penalty to their attack rolls, or you could like sever the arm. But that is that very much depends on like the DM themselves rather than like any mechanics. And I know not a lot of DMs are going to be willing to or even think about something like that, right? At least in my experience. When the Medusa makes an attack roll, makes a ranged attack roll and misses, it can use a bonus action to re-roll the attack. Is this Medusa going to be using their bonus action much? It's a difficult choice in the end, isn't it? It is. Designing a game like Dungeons & Dragons is not easy. Many people think that even the designers haven't gotten it right. So, you know, if the people who made the game are being criticized for the way that they've made it, goes to show just how open and how, like, easily changeable the game is. Either you do free RP because of all the complications there could be, or you use rules because you just know that there's that guy who's going to pretend to be such a badass. Yeah. In that case, that'd be a table-by-table thing, I feel. Introduce whatever rules that you need in order to cater to your table. Because at the end of the day, you're not playing White Room D&D. You're not playing the D&D that people speak about in the forums or, you know, in massive groups. You're playing D&D at the table with your specific people around that table, right? Even if you go onto Roll20 and you're playing in a pickup group, for instance, like that's still going to be those specific individuals, not just like, you know, the general D&D, you know, consensus. So even though someone might say, like, I don't know, oh, fire damage is so overpowered, fire damage is like so underpowered because so many people are resistant to it. If you play in a campaign where like everyone's vulnerable to fire, that goes out the window, doesn't it? For that specific campaign. You can use a bonus action to reroll. Right, are we looking for a bonus action? So this thing has snake hairs. So I might want to empower this thing a little bit as well. So let's go ahead and give this thing 18 dex, which is going to give it a +4. So that means its longbow attack is going to deal an extra 2 damage. Hit what? Let's go ahead and roll this and see what we've got going on. Self-roll, longbow. So what, rolled a 4 and that made it an 11, so that is a +7. You feel like this can be balanced out? That specific problem. It is worth thinking about for sure. So a lot of creatures are very resistant to it. Okay, so make it so that creatures not resistant to it get absolutely fucked by fire damage. Yeah, that's definitely one way to resolve it for sure. I'm just let me see. I feel like a lot of discussions about D&D are based on White Room D&D and not the D&D at your table. And ultimately, what's going to be most impactful to your personal gameplay experience, to your to your own senses, is going to be the personalized D&D instead of the white room D&D that doesn't exist in physical space, right? And that's kind of like the design space, I feel. So it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's interesting. Yeah, it's just interesting. For effect fire magic, see Roy Mustang from. For effective fire magic, see Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I haven't watched that ever, I don't think. Full Metal Alchemist is one of the animes that I didn't really get into. I know that Brotherhood is more based on the manga than the original animation was. I feel like the original animation didn't have the manga to go on that much, so they went into a completely different direction. Let's get skills, let's get ranged. Let's see, is there a nice one that represents a ricochet or bouncing shot? Let's go with this one. Let me see, snake hair is a normal attack. Short sword, long sword, constrict is an action as well. Yeah, she doesn't use her bonus action for anything. So let's go ahead and have that be a bonus action. Let's do one action. It's still an attack, of course. Ranged weapon attack. Well, how about this? She can... Because this is a monster, instead of being so sensitive, you can use a bonus action to reroll against a different target within 60 feet of the original target. Let's go ahead and say that the second attack has advantage. Just going to give that to her because it is a one-shot monster, basically. Like, the party is really only going to encounter this thing once. Basically, in one of the situations, his enemy turned into a giant monstrosity. Yeah, that didn't work at all. Just made itself a larger target. He started setting its eyes and tongue on fire. Yeah, that sounds like a practical, like a specific application of fire for sure. Targeting the vulnerable places, even though he couldn't incinerate him anymore because he grew. He set fire to like key vulnerable areas. How effective is like fire on a tongue though? Tongues are moist. Can you set fire to a tongue? That's a sentence I didn't expect to say today. Do I want this to have advantage though? How would that make sense? Let's just leave it at that for now, and then we'll work out something a bit later. So yeah, she had this emerald eye mask, which prevents people from getting turned to stone if they look at her. Yeah, it wasn't moist after the fire. All flesh has its burning point. Yeah, it does. So this emerald eye mask protects her from the blinding light of the crystals when she uses her bursting shot. She gets 60 feet of dark vision, which doesn't necessarily matter. This is more a thing of if the player kills her, they can take this item. And then it gives them proficiency in perception and expertise if they're already proficient. So let's go ahead and turn on expertise here. Submit. So she now has a +7. I want to increase this proficiency modifier by a few. Let's go ahead and raise her to CR 9. There we go. So that means she now has a... What chance of this to hit does she have? She has a +8 to hit. If I take a look at the party's armor class, really I feel like this is high enough. Because people like Bianca, she's really not going to hit. Like what, she needs to roll a 12 plus in order to hit Bianca? And at the same time, we have a monk here who can grab weapons, grab ranged attacks. So I feel like that's going to be perfectly fine. Like, I want the monk to be able to use his deflect missile attacks. I want Bianca to be able to have hits bounce off of her armor. The vulnerable people, like Dune over here. So Dune, she's called Dune the Undead because she literally, like, it is very hard to kill her. She is an orc, so she has Orcish Fury. She is a... what is this? She is a Zealot Barbarian, which means that even if she dies, she can get resurrected for free. if you have a Cleric with the spell, which Garden is. And she can just ignore being sent to 0 hit points a few times, thanks to Relentless Rage. And I think another one is... I think she has another feature that prevents her from being lowered to 0. But yeah, I want Dune to be able to take a beating. Like, look, she effectively has over 200 hit points because she can rage. She had 137 max hit points. Double that effectively to, that's what, like, I don't know, 274? That's a lot. That's almost like dragon level amount of hit points. So that gives me a good idea though. So blind, what save do you think resisting blinding light would be? My first response is going to be Constitution, but I can also see Wisdom. So we're going to make this a rule of this this cave over here. So if blinding light occurs within a 10-foot radius, the cave is going to light up and blind whoever's in there until the start of their next turn, or until the end of their next turn, should I say. It's gonna either be Constitution or Wisdom, I feel. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and write this over here. Bright light illuminates the cave, causing creatures within the bright light radius to make a... Let's make it a DC 14, I think? Let's make it a DC 15, because this is going to be bright. Constitution saving throw, or be blinded until the end of their next turn. There we go. How did that look? Did that look okay? We'll figure that out a bit more later on. But that's a good starting point to go with. Let's go ahead and extend the terrain down a little bit over here. Let's go... I haven't joined these guys up yet. Do its own room. There we go, group. Let's go ahead and rename this to Memory Cave Room. We can now turn this off, and then let me go ahead and turn this off, just so that I can grab the floor here. Hit it. And now we can go ahead and extend that. Basically just out to here. So if we duplicate this point, we can create the floor. There we go. Very nice. And then we go ahead and turn... That is the darkness. Where is the walls over here? There we go. That's what it looks like now. I think since we got rid of the stone here, we can put another statue up here as well. Let's see, where is this? Oh, we need to turn this back off again. Go ahead and grab this, and then we'll place another one over here. So this is basically going to be like a 3-part logic riddle, and I'm not too sure what the logic riddle is going to be just yet. It could be that each one of these statues has an answer, and they're going to need to figure out which answer is the correct one. And then they get to here where there should be a door. Let's go ahead and click here, go into. Go ahead and just grab one of these walls here. Okay. Go ahead and place this. Maybe we should get a smaller wall. Like so. I think that one looks okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. Move that to the bottom. Now let's move it to the top. It looks a bit weird here, but the players aren't going to see... they might see that, actually. Let's go ahead and turn on... Oh, half is allowed already. We'll select it. Let's see which one matches well enough. I don't think any of these match well enough, actually. Come to think of it, there should be a dead end section here. So maybe one of these will work? If we rotate it like this. There, that looks okay. Yeah, if we do that, and then we move that to... not to the bottom. Okay, let's turn this off. Have a good day. Thank you very much, Bell Knight. Thank you for coming by. It was lovely hearing from you. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and hope you have a wonderful week. Alright, let's see. So we do have this. So let's move this one here to the top. This is going to be part of our illusory wall. We'll make that very opaque right now. Then we'll go ahead and grab this. And we'll place this like so, and we'll move this to the bottom. We should actually move that not all the way to the bottom. Like so. Does that work? I feel like there's... Let's turn off the grid for a second. Let's make it hexes. Now that looks like a... Yeah, that fits pretty nicely, I think. Cool. Alright, there's a little bit of an overlap here where it meets the darkness from the other one, but that's fine. The players aren't going to notice that. So let's go ahead and take those and move them into their own separate category. There we have these two. Yep, go ahead and cut them out. Go here, paste, group, and we'll call this secret walls. Oh, did that not... Wait, no, I just need to do that. There we go. Fantastic. Let's go and grab this secret wall over here as well. And I think there is another secret wall. Yeah, there's secret walls over here. We'll grab these two. And... we need to grab the one at the entrance too. So there you go. We'll grab these, cut them out. Go back into here, into secret walls. Paste them back in. And let's just make sure that opacity is all set at the same value. Like so. Excellent. Oh. Okay, now let's go ahead and make this wall look nice. Grab another one of those. Maybe like so. Hold on. How should we do this one? Like that? Move to the bottom? Yeah. Okay, great. Now we have secret walls all over the place. So if we disable these, this one, all the secret walls should disappear. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up the map. And then we are going to hide everything on the map except for the secret walls. And then we're going to keep the same file size of the same dimensions for the map. And then we'll just overlay these walls onto the map. So we can hide and reveal them. Yeah, and I don't need... Actually, yeah, if they come back the other way, we're going to need another wall over here. Let's go into here. Let's grab this. Rotate it like so. There we go. I know it looks a little bit strange right now. It doesn't quite match up with everything else, but that's perfectly fine. So yeah. So the party are going to come in through here. They're going to notice these crystals, and if they investigate them, they're going to find out that there may be a secret passage here, provided they roll well enough on their investigation. Or they can go over here if they don't know what the crystals are about. They'll go over here, and they will have to descend about 100 feet down into this chasm here. Down here, they're going to notice a lot more crystals. I do have an idea that they're going to find a petrified creature down here. Now, I was thinking either over here, but this file pack here does have one of these, a petrified beholder. So I'm thinking instead of putting a behir down here, we can put a beholder down here. And just have that be sort of like an ominous sign saying that, hey, there is something deadly down here. Now, of course, our... nope. Let's go ahead and move this down, maybe like so. No, we don't want it to be beneath the crystals. That looks okay. There we go. Where is our darkness layer? There we go. Okay, cool. So this is looking good so far. So they come down here. They notice that this petrified beholder here, and I'm going to describe this as being a crystalline beholder instead of the asset looking like a let's go ahead and try and apply a strange coloration to it. Like so. Yeah, that looks crystalline, doesn't it? Dude, this is so good. Oh, I am so excited. Let's see what other colors we can do. Anything that we can get closer to the purple crystals beside it. Yeah, we're getting close. I think we should go with this color. What if we turn down the strength here a little bit? There we go. Look at this crystal beholder. I am so happy with it. Alright. But I feel like something is missing so far. As they come into here, they're going to have a little mystery about what's going on inside this cave. What are these crystals here for? And I don't think that they'll be willing to jump down here, honestly. The only reason why they would jump down here is if they suspect that there is something here. Like, if they suspect that this is the right place. And they don't figure out what the secret wall is over here. Do any of you, how do the DMs in chat deal with secret walls? So, for instance, these walls are illusory, right? If somebody goes up to the wall and like suspects that there's something there and then taps it, do you make them roll a perception or investigation check? Like, if they actively, like, narrate that they're going up to the wall, I feel like that is a bit disingenuous. Because if they suspect the wall, and they describe in character that they're going up to it and they're just giving it a tap to see what it is, I'm not going to ask them to roll a investigation check or anything, or a perception check. Because they've already, they haven't figured it out. But they're doing the right thing to check to see if something is an invisible wall. So I'm just going to have the hand pass through them without giving them, without asking them for a check. Of course, why would they check out this wall in particular? Like, if they investigate, like, this wall over here, I would just say, okay, you know, at that point, I guess I'd ask them to give me a perception check. It'd be relatively low if they're, like, checking around this area here. I can be a bit generous like that. And then they would like find out that, oh hey, this is a secret wall. They head on through here, they start climbing down here, and they notice a statue. So what are these statues? I guess in order to answer that, we need to figure out what the Zion Mage is actually after. So let's go back to our foundry here. So the Zion Mage that we're using actually uses the stats of Here we go. Actually uses up the stats of a Starspawn mage. Oh, let me increase that again. And Starspawn mages, this is what they look like. They are humanoid masses of worms, basically. Now I have a few things to foreshadow this on my OneNote here, which you guys aren't going to be able to see. I'll go ahead and bring you over to the OneNote page quickly. Let me go ahead and find it. I know it's not going to show up on stream. I think I put it in quests, actually. Yeah, here we go. So that looked like that's showing up decently well. So party flow. They head to Luxuria. Lyrus is imprisoned. They're directed to Seeds here. They're directed to the Memory Cave. We need to work a bit on the plot hooks that, or the leads that they'll get in town, in order to get to here. But once we've finished up this cave, we can then reverse engineer the leads that they'll get. They are then directed to the Memory Cave, where they'll find the Crystal Medusa and the memory shards that they need. So party has to find suspicious activity in caves. The Zion Mage collects memories of those around to try and find where Dul's Agotl landed. So Dul's Agotl is a Moon Lord. I mentioned this a little bit briefly earlier. Moon Lords are powerful entities from the moon that came down to the planet before the current calamity, like many years ago, like centuries or even like millennia ago. And they basically just chilled out here. Dul's Agotl is a kind of recent one. Let's go ahead and go to the timeline over here. So here I have a timeline of events. And as we can see here, Cult of Dul's Agotl formed in the Dragon Ministry. So this is where Dul's Agotl exists. It exists in a place, or near a place called the Dragon Ministry. Dragon Ministry is kind of like a university that trains soldiers and mages in the city of Trishka. Oh, hold on, you can't actually see that. There we go. I forgot to press the transition button. So Dul's Agotl, let me go ahead and highlight this here. Dul's Agotl formed in the Dragon Ministry. That was 910 years ago. So Dul's Agotl started influencing the region about 500 years ago. And it's a, you know, it's a aberrant, like, alien creature, right, from the moon. Our Zion Mage, let's go ahead and go back to here again. Does that show up nicely? Yeah, that shows up nicely. So our Zion Mage collects memories of those around to try and find where Dul's Agotl landed. So let me show you what type of distances we're dealing with here. So here's the Zion Mage. The Zion Mage is in this place here, the City of Seeds. The Dragon Ministry is all the way over here near Glauni in Trishka. So that is a massive distance. Considering like this distance here is maybe like 1 or 2 days worth of travel, this is like an insane distance in order to travel to. So our poor alien friend landed quite far away. Cosmologically speaking, quite close, but quite far away. But it doesn't know where its master landed. So it's trying to figure that out by absorbing the memories of those around it. And that's sort of like what the main central conceit is right now. Yeah, that's sort of like the main behind the scenes of what's going on right now. It just struck you? Oh, it sounded like you had an inspiration zone. D&D maps don't often, or at all, have a sort of metric to what scale a map is. Yeah, that is a problem, and this map isn't exact. You can draw it to scale. I know adventures do a really good job at drawing their map to scale. Like, I'm playing in a Waterdeep Dragon Heist game, and they have a pretty nice scale system. Traveling in the city takes like hours, if not like the majority of a day, to get from the top to the bottom of Waterdeep. But here I do have a little bit of a guide. So here normal pace is 24 miles in a day. So if I grab this ruler here, How many kilometers, miles is the continent? Right, yeah. So that is a good point. I don't... Are there any published adventures? Or like... I'm sure like Faerun has a size for like its continent, right? I feel like that's the thing. When I was designing this region, I decided that I wanted it to be the same size or a similar size to continental Europe. So let's see. You might not be able to see that, but this measures about like 3,400 miles across, which I think is comparable to continental Europe, right? Yeah, that often goes on in the background, for sure. Unless it's something that you're like interested in already, like cartography. I don't feel like it comes up all that often. Not like Wizards of the Coast uses it often, considering they're addicted to the Sword Coast. Yeah, oftentimes it just doesn't come up. Most campaigns start off like relatively small scale, right? Like you might start in a town or something. Like my party started in this town over here. It's not named, but it's called Elspeth. And then they travel to Rotrono. Those two are like really close together. Before that, they started off in Hisspell and they went to a small town like somewhere over here. Last time Karatur has been mentioned was 3.5e. What is Karatur? Is that a place? Oh, it's Forgotten Realms is Asia. Ah, okay. I'm so glad that they have developed the world a bit more than what's on the map, for sure. Whenever I don't know about you, whenever I see a map, I'm always like, I'm not interested in anywhere on this map. I want to know what's over there, right? So like, what is over here, right? What is beyond this land? But then I'm like, what? But I've spent so much time putting stuff here. When I was making a character for a Forgotten Realms homebrew campaign, the first time I played on Roll20, I'd made a human prince called Charles. A bit of a self-insert there. But he was from like a place, I think it was from Cormyr in Faerun. But my backup character was going to be a character from the far north, I think in a place called Sossel, which was like pretty much off the map. So, yeah, it's just so fascinating, like looking into the unknown. I feel looking into the unknown and thinking, oh, what is that? But yeah, no, distances definitely seem to be, you know, a thing that doesn't come up all that often. But also feels like one of those things that if the players ask you, hey, what's the distance between like these two continents? It feels like if you don't have an answer to that, then it kind of feels like you haven't made the world right? You expect your DM to mail you all 3D printed globes of the world, of the setting? Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure all your DMs absolutely hate you for that. You want to know from which direction the sun and moon rise. Yeah. If it fails, if you can't think of anything and there's no reason to change it, just use the real world standard, right? The moons in my world do act a bit strangely. So this, so you saw this this land here, this basin here. What season does this planet have? So Elos actually exists on like the tropical equator, basically. There's a lot of jungle and a lot of like just hot weather here. So if I click here, you can see it's like 21 degrees and it's torrential rains all day. I can reset this if I want. 31 degrees torrential rains, 30 degrees torrential terrain. You probably can't see that, it's a bit too small. But the weather here is tropical. And because it's like on the equator, there is effectively no seasons. These are the standards. It also keeps... these are the standards I'd also keep to myself, though. Yeah. Actually, don't worry. I can't actually... Like, my computer screen is a bit too far away from me, so I can't read text. You'd expect the same for yourself. Remind me again, are you a DM or are you a player? Or are you both? Which one do you enjoy most? Right. Based on the way that you're speaking, it sounds like you're talking from a player perspective. You've only played one shot, don't DM at all. Ah, okay. Have you had any interest in DMing at all? It might be a bit too early to ask since you've only played like one shot. But do you think it's something that you might see yourself doing in the future? Let's go ahead and head on back to... Oh, no. So yeah, in this world, these moons act a bit strangely. So this area here, the Githam Bashia, which is the ebb of the world, is where the big moon, Zetathos, permanently like exists on top of. So if you look up into the sky, you'll always see Zetathos. There is a daily lunar eclipse, or I think solar eclipse, whichever one it is that the sun passes behind the moon in. You got into world building because you played World of Warcraft, and you hated the lore so much that you got used to correcting lore. And turns out you're pretty okay with coming up with ideas and being freaking obsessed with leaving not a single detail out. Yeah. There's nothing that gets you more motivated to do something than seeing someone else do that thing wrong. Part of the reason why I started playing D&D is because nobody around me was DMing. The previous DM that I had in university left after the first year, so I was just there with like a bunch of dorm mates, just sitting around being like, I want to play D&D, but no one can DM. So I just figured out how to DM, and then I ran a few sessions for them. So basically, nobody around me was doing what I wanted, so I did it myself. And then that turned out into pretty nice, like 3-year long evil campaign for my first D&D IRL game. Then I went on to Roll20, found a few games, left a few games, started DMing myself, and then came up with this world. It was on another continent, but yeah. How familiar are you with World of Warcraft lore? Absolutely not familiar at all. I know, what are they? They're the Draenei? I know the Draenei are there. I think there is something about a Lich, and I think there is a panda place. That is all I know about World of Warcraft lore, I'll be honest. Growing up, I never really had an interest in World of Warcraft. I was more of a Guild Wars player. So that was my MMO growing up. And I just never really saw a reason to get into World of Warcraft. But it sounds like World of Warcraft lore is like pretty deep. It sounds like they have quite a few writers working on the world. The Lich King is not a Lich, it's more like an absolutely overpowered Death Knight. There are Liches too. So the Lich King just took that Monkia to like kind of say STFU to all the other Liches who think they're hot. He's just like, hey, I'm going to call myself a Lich because I'm better than you Liches. That's kind of like quite a disrespectful but baller move. So yeah, the moon Zetathos is in geostationary or geosynchronous orbit. So one face is always facing the land and is always in the sky. I wanted to show, where is it? I think it's under meaningful lore. The Umbral Hour, here we go. So this is the Umbral Hour. Yeah, whatever. Go back to text. The Umbral Hour bestows lunar magic upon the land. So if we go back to the Amaranthine map, these mountains are colored this way because they are charged with lunar magic because they are so close to Zetathos. Lunar magic like comes out through lunar light and it just like imbibes the land with richness. Some of the Moon Lords came down like a long time ago and drained much of the land of its lunar magic so that they could escape and return back to where they came from. That's the story, at least, not how things actually went. But I can't say how they actually went just yet because I don't want to have that be released just yet and have my players come onto my YouTube channel and find that out. But yeah, a lot of magic comes from lunar magic. There are also no gods in the setting, but that's another story. Clerics and paladins, they get their power from cosmic ideals, basically. Like if you have a cleric of peace, like they get their power from the concept of peace itself. So the universe is just like, hey, are you devoted enough? And it's like, yeah, I'm devoted enough, let me show you. And then the universe is like, okay, here you go, here's some power. But yeah. Let's go ahead and head on back to this map here. So I think I want another secret wall here. So let's go back into here and let's grab a secret wall. By this point, by the point that the players come up to this wall, they would have had a pretty good chance to realize that these crystals represent hidden walls. Oh, interesting. Why is that not... Oh, it's hidden. That's why. By this point, the players would have should have gathered. Oh, sorry, they would have had ample opportunity to understand that there are. Why doesn't this one fit? They would have had ample opportunity to realize that there are invisible walls around here. Maybe a dead end will fit in here? Not quite. I guess I'd need to do like that. Okay. Okay, this looks like it'll work. Nice. That looks pretty uniform, I think. Excellent. Okay, and now we need to figure out what to put over here. So the Medusa, I plan to have the Medusa start off over here, and if she is alerted to the party's presence, she is going to start stalking these areas. She will be able to pass through the crystals, while the party will not. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my light here quickly. Let me just unplug this. Starting to actually get a bit dark. There we go. She'll be able to pass through these crystals, so I need to give her a feature that lets her pass through crystals unharmed. And she's gonna just attack the party. Now, if the party actually managed to fire back at the Medusa, I plan to have her mask come off, and that's going to present a whole new challenge. Because these crystals are reflective, they're going to be able to see the Medusa's face, like through the reflections of the crystal, and that's going to threaten to petrify them. I'm not entirely sure exactly how that's going to manifest. I feel like she will be able to project her face down like one of these corridors. So let's say she's over here. She can project her face on the crystals all the way along here and through here, for instance. And then if she's over here, or over here, it'll be able to project through here and bounce along here. And that's going to force everyone who sees her face to make a Constitution save or start to become petrified. So I guess I don't want to make it the petrification too strong. Or too high of a DC. So let's head on back to Foundry. Let's grab our Medusa. Crystallizing Gauge right now is a DC 14 con save. Let's go ahead and take a look at the party. I have some party notes here IRL. So Lotus, let me see. Lotus is our monk. Lotus is the concubus monk. And the best thing that Lotus can do, or the most efficient thing that Lotus can do in combat, is stun single target enemies. This is a single target enemy, and I don't want it to be a pushover, so I am going to give our Medusa here a high constitution. I think a +8. Lotus's key empowered, or Lotus's key saving throw is what? Let's take a look. Key. 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom. So that is 8 plus 3, which is 11, plus 4 is 15. So with a +8, the Medusa will need to roll 7 or higher on her con checks. Considering how often Black Lotus can throw out stunning strikes because of all the ki that Lotus has, which they never use ki for anything else other than other than stunning strike, of course. I feel like that's a good saving throw to have for her. Oh yeah, I also need to take a look at their constitution scores. So you have a constitution save of +3, which means a 14 con save. You need to roll an 11 or higher, which I think is about 50%. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Yeah, that's 50%. So Lotus had a 50% chance of failing their con save, but this isn't going to be an immediate petrification. So they're going to have multiple attempts to free themselves of this. We do have Garden here, who is able to restore petrification. Garden here has both lesser restoration and greater restoration. Yeah, lesser restoration. And greater should be down here somewhere. Greater restoration, there we go. Oh, it's always prepared for Garden. Fantastic. Okay, I don't need to be editing crystallizing gaze here. Let's go back to our Medusa. Let's take a look at Dune. So Dune has a +9 to her con save, which is like incredible. Don't need to worry about Dune. Garden is someone who we have to worry about, because Garden only had a +1 to their constitution save. So if Garden gets petrified, that is going to cause a lot of problems. Because it's not an immediate petrification though, they do have an out. So if Garden notices that he's being petrified, he can restoration himself and get rid of it. Then we have Lilith. Lilith has a what is that, a +3? Yeah, that's a +3. So that's going to be, what? Needs to roll an 11 or higher in order to succeed. And Storm has a +1. Oh, poor Storm. I feel like Storm, the water/air genasi, is going to be having a bit of a hard time getting petrified. Trust that he picks the 2 elements that aren't Earth. I have a homebrew rule where you can pick basically a racial feat at level 1. And that's like customized from a list. One of the feats that Genasi can get is they absorb a bit of elemental heritage from another element that isn't their original one. So Storm, I think, is a air Genasi with traces of water Genasi elements to him. So yeah, I feel like that is a good crystallizing gauge. We don't need to worry about that just now. And let me just see how tall this let me go back to, yeah. Let me just see how long these corridors are. I don't think it'll be easy to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about 7 here. What about this long one here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17. What is 17 times 5? That is 25, 30, 35. That'll be 50 plus 35, which is 85. That's 85 feet long. So I guess that would turn it into a line effect for being in these crystals. It'll turn it into a line effect. I think we also need to watch out for the Medusa staring at herself as well. Normally, as part of the myth of the Medusa, if a Medusa sees her own reflection, she will be knocked out from that, right? Oops. Let's go back to here. she'll be like petrified by her own gaze in that case. I'm not sure if I want to keep that. I feel like the party will go in knowing that this is a vulnerability of the Medusa, so I think we should keep it. We could just have the Medusa not looking at the reflections, right? I think once her mask has been knocked off by like an attack, then she's gonna like want to try and hide. She's actually not like an evil individual. Like, she's not really out there to kill the party. She's trying to defend the Zion's memory crystal because that's the deal that they have together. But she doesn't like actually want to like outright kill them. She was once human herself. But she is suffering from a curse. Let me go ahead and add a curse feature here. Medusa's curse. This Medusa has been cursed to gain the statistics, to gain the features of a Medusa. So what can we have to cure this individual? So we do have Garden, who can lesser and greater restoration this individual, but I feel like that's a bit too easy to get rid of a curse like that. I believe Garden has heal as well. Let's go to Garden. Yeah, heal is a 6th level. Let me see. Spell also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting the target. Does he have remove curse? Is the next question. He does have remove curse. So let's see, that's the 3rd level. We want it to be cast at 5th level or higher, I think. Remove curse cast at 5th level or higher will cure this individual of its Medusa's curse and revert her back to her original form. There we go. Go ahead and find a nice icon for this. Magic, let's see, earth magic? We can do maybe something like the earth elemental here. Let's go back and see if there's something a bit more curse related. Unholy, perhaps? What is this? Hands praying green? What if we find something a bit serpentine? No. I think I like this this hand symbol here. Let's go for this green hand symbol. There we go. Let's go ahead and fill out a bit of a biography for this individual. So this is the standard text that they get. So I'm actually gonna move that down a few paces here. And so who is this person? This person is originally a tiefling. Village girl who lived in Seeds. She was cursed. So what could have cursed? What could create a Medusa? In the myths, I believe Medusas were like a product of the gods, right? This setting doesn't have gods. So what could have created a Medusa? I feel like going down the vampire route, where like a snake bit her. Is that a bit too cliche? Did like a powerful snake come by, biting her, turn her into a snake? Or maybe we can make this more of a story about vanity. well, we don't really need to actually go into too much detail, do we? I do want her to become a social element, if possible. Like, I want to leave that on the table. So let's try and come up with at least something. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of research here and figure out how our Medusa's made. Origin of Medusa. According to Hysod's theogony, she was one of the Gorgon sisters born to Keto and Phorcys, primordial sea gods. Medusa was mortal, while the others were immortal. The best-known myths recount her fateful adventure with the Greek hero Perseus. Why is the Medusa cursed? Medusa and Poseidon engaged in a love affair and would have 2 children together, but not before Athena discovered the illicit affair. When Athena discovered the affair, she was immediately enraged and cursed Medusa by taking away her beauty. Okay. So that sounds like a vengeance plot, right? So how about we just have a powerful wizard come by and steal her beauty? She was cursed by a powerful wizard. I'm thinking. She's skilled at a bow, so she would have had to have been an archer of some kind beforehand. A genie did it. She was born into a wealthy family and forced into modeling. Sick of the attention, she wished for people not to be able to look at her anymore. Whoa. That is... I like that. That will also intrigue Storm, because Storm is originally from the plane of water. Storm's story is something came through a portal into the plane of water from this world. And that thing was a Moon Lord. So he came here to try and figure out what it was and why it happened, because nothing that powerful should come through. And that's why he's joined the party, because the party are trying to stop this. So I feel like bringing in an elemental touch would certainly be useful, and certainly will intrigue Storm. That's a great idea, Zoe. Thank you very much. Let me see. I feel like an earth elemental would have to have done this. By a powerful earth elemental. So let's see. She was born into a wealthy family and forced into modeling. I'm trying to figure out what modeling might look like in my... right. If she was born wealthy, then the family would have wanted to... yeah, okay. Born into a wealthy Sindarian family, her beauty was well known before the tragedy. She would often be made the centerpiece of social events and mostly ignored outside of them. Let's see. She grew sick of the, let's see. Yeah, using your words, she grew sick of the attention and began seeking ways to rid herself of she grew tired of the event. She grew sick of the way she was being treated and began seeking ways to rid herself of the unwanted attention. Let me see. She had... So, okay, I feel like one evening she left for the mountain just to try and get some peacetime. Just to try and get like some peace and quiet. And then she, you know, sat down next to a rock, and she kind of like confided in, like, not necessarily in the rock, but she confided to nature at the time that, hey, I hate this beauty. I wish that, you know, people wouldn't like look at me anymore. And then the genie came by and was like, your wish is done. There you go. You now turn everything to stone. She left for the base of the nearby mountain one evening and confided in nature her desire to and confided in nature the frustrations of being so beautiful. An earth genie heard her pleas and bestowed upon her the curse of the Medusa, granting her wish but changing her life forever. Okay, what name should we give to this poor individual? In the years that had passed since, she has become known among the people. She has taken up residence in a nearby mountain cave, which the locals... I'm trying to think, what would the locals call, if they knew that a creature like this lived there, what would they call that cave? What would they see as they go in? She had taken up residence in a nearby mountain cave, petrifying the stray explorers, who are never seen again. The nearby towns now know to avoid this location as a place where few who explore rarely returns. Okay. So the theme of the area of Cinderia here, the nomenclature in Cinderia is based on, one is based on Italian names. It's also very much based on Latin names. So let's go ahead and try and generate a Latin female name. Latin name generator. And let's see what we come up with. Get female names. If you've never used the site called fantasynamegenerator.com, you should absolutely go and use it. It is fantastic. Herenia? I think Herenia sounds fantastic. Lucretia is also really good. Herenia. Yep, okay, great. Thank you very much for that suggestion there, Zote. It's quite literally the only name generator worth using. Yes, I would agree. It does come up with some really weird names though sometimes. Like one time I generated a name for a mercenary band and it said the company of the company or something like that. So it's still every now and then kind of like kicks out a poopy name, but it is named so many things for me, and I'm glad that a lot of people gain use out of it. Alright. The family believe her to be dead. Kidnapped in the night. Not kidnapped. Lost to the wilderness. And don't know the truth about her curse. There we go. So yeah, there we go. So, what has she got? Let's go ahead and change this multi-attack here. So she makes 3 ranged attacks. Because she is more of a ranged character than a melee character, we're going to invert this. From 3 melee attacks or 2 ranged attacks to 3 ranged attacks or 2 melee attacks. Actually, let's go back here. 1 with the snake hair, 1 to constrict, and 1 with the short sword. To constrict. There we go. Alright, so I believe the snake hair uses strength. Does it not use strength? +2? What is this modifier using? Let's go ahead and roll it to find out. Snake hair. So that's got a +8 to hit. 4, 5. Yeah, that looked like it's relying on dex. So we have the snake hair, we have the constrict, which has a +4 to hit. So constrict is more of a strength-based thing. And what does constrict do? Bludgeoning damage, target is grappled. Until the grapple ends, target is restrained and the Medusa can't constrict another target. Should I increase the strength of this creature a little bit to make that a bit more likely? No, I feel like being up close is going to be a weakness of her. So there you go. Let's also give her a feature called Crystal Passage. Okay. The Medusa can move through crystal rock. There's a feature called Earth Glide. Earth Glide. Let's go ahead and borrow the wording from this. So let's go ahead and say the Medusa can burrow through non-magical, unworked earth and stone. While doing so, the Medusa let's say can move through non-magical, unworked earth and stone. While doing so, it doesn't disturb the material. There we go. So this is just to say that she can move freely through the crystals. This isn't saying that she literally goes through the crystal. It's more a representation of her ability to navigate this area. Let's go Earth. There we go. Let's go ahead and use this. Let's use this icon here. There we go. Okay. So, the stream has been going on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think I need to end the stream here, otherwise I am not going to get any sleep later on today. But yeah, that has been it. I feel like this experiment into doing a D&D stream has been a huge success. I very much enjoyed listening to all of your characters and all of your stories about D&D earlier on in the stream. My next stream is going to be on Thursday at the same time as it started today. You can check below the stream here, and there's going to be a timer there which tells you the time until the next stream, in days and hours. So that'll tell you the precise time. Next week I am probably going to do a little bit more of this, and I'm also going to go ahead and play a little bit of Black and White. I believe that might change between now and then, but there will be a stream on Thursday. So let me go ahead and see who I can send you guys all off to. Oh, Nanami is online. Okay. I feel like I am going to have you guys go to Nanami. She is a VTuber who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Who is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And she is a very, very sweet streamer. Her streams are always very chill. So once that is ready and good to go, yeah. Thank you very much everyone for coming by. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll work a little bit more on this on Thursday. And go ahead and say hello to Nanami for me. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all later. Take care.